once you are doing the work, you know what you're doing, you can have more and more synchronicities in life. You attract the right people in the right time, etc. Okay, this is Mike Sygula from TruthTheory.com and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. This is my series on metaphysics, esotericism, mysticism and spirituality. And if you are new here, please subscribe because this is already episode 30. Woo-wee, 30. We're moving, I'm creating more and more content for you guys. So if you're new here, please subscribe, check out previous episodes, and please support our work at patreon.com/truththeory. Have a look what's going on there. On Patreon, if you are a supporter, you can send me direct messages, suggestions for topics. If you want me to talk about any kind of spiritual, metaphysical subject, you can send me some suggestions. You can ask me direct questions there as well. And when you guys are supporting this project, I can create more videos. So thank you. And if you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, I'm doing online coaching and mentoring. So go to truththeory.com/coaching and have a look. We have different options there. Initial consultation is free of charge, so you have nothing to lose. And now let's get into the topic. So in this video, I want to kind of give you some examples of synchronicities from my life, and I would suggest to have a look at True Spirituality episode 20, where I talked about synchronicities. In episode 20, I kind of explained some of the general ideas. This is like most important aspects, right? Who doesn't want to have more synchronicities in life? If you know what you're doing, you align with your higher self, you align with your spirit guides, you ask them for help, you are following your soul plan, you start having more and more synchronicities. I won't really talk about that in this video. I would say have a look at episode 20 where we covered the mechanism, most of the stuff. It's not everything, but these are some of the more important things. And now let me kind of show you how, for example, I can have synchronicities in my life. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. And let me say that it doesn't mean that my life is just beautiful and I have synchronicities all the time. No, life is rarely like that. There's always chaos, forces, different things, so it's unlikely that you're gonna have just constant flow of synchronicities. You would have to be super aligned to be able to do that. And life is life, we all have busy days, bad days, good days, different kind of forces that are impacting our lives. So it doesn't mean that my life is full of synchronicities. I think that I definitely have some synchronistic events, and sometimes more, sometimes less, but overall it's pretty good. So today I just gonna show you a couple of examples. Okay, so let's start with one example. Okay, so last year I was in London for a couple of months, and I received an email from some guy who wanted to kind of contribute some articles for Truth Theory. I looked at his Facebook profile and I found out that he's actually based in London. And I felt like, yeah, let's meet, why not? I'm in London now for a couple of months. He seemed like he knew his kind of field, very similar to what we are doing, so I thought maybe he could collaborate with me. And basically he was taking part in some anti-lockdown march or protest, and basically he just said, if I want to come, send me some invitation, flyer, whatever, told me the date, etc. So I didn't know this guy before, never kind of talked to him more than just through email or Facebook, and that was the first time we're supposed to meet. So I decided to, Saturday, decided to go to this protest. I took some public transportation in London, and first thing, I just got on the wrong bus. I kind of went the other way around, had to go around. Then I was kind of a little bit daydreaming, doing some work with my phone, so I wasn't paying so much attention, and I kind of got a little bit confused with public transport, and I had to take a couple of different, I had to take like a train, metro and bus, you know, it's a big city, London. So basically I kind of arrived in central London a little bit too late. They were starting the protest from, I think was Marble Arch, you know, like a neighborhood in London. And I got a little bit late, and I was already like 2 stations from the station where they were starting the protest. So I felt like, you know, I had another couple of minutes for another train, so I decided I'm just gonna walk there because I'm already late. I don't like to like wait for another 5-10 minutes for another train. Let me just start walking there. So I was still 2 stations away, or 1 station, something like that. I got out of the tube or metro station, and what happens? The protest started, and they're basically going exactly through the street that I got from, right, from the metro. So I left the tube station and I got inside the protest, basically. So I started walking, you know, I don't know anyone, I'm just walking there with the rest of the people. There were thousands of people. And within 2-3 minutes, this guy is passing next to me. I never met him before, but I recognize him from the picture. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, who are you? You know, and it's Mike, what's up? Oh yeah, hey, what's up? Let me introduce you to other people. And he was like, yeah, let me introduce you to son of David Icke, Gareth, let me introduce you to this guy, let me introduce you to the other guy, blah, blah, blah. Think about that, you know. I got late, I confused bus, I confused train, like I literally had to go back. I already was late, and I decided to get off at the different station and have a walk. And boom, out of thousands of people in that protest, I'm bumping into the right guy. So this is an example of synchronicity, and I get these things happening to me all the time. Every month I have things like that happening to me. So, okay, let me share with you another example. Basically, when I was in London last year, I found out that my ex, that basically like a relationship I had 15 years ago, was actually living in the area where I was staying in London, right? And kind of like, I don't know, she said something, oh, maybe we should meet up because she saw me on Instagram in her neighborhood, wherever. So I think it was like 6 months in London, and that was like the last 2-3 days. And I was really busy, so I didn't kind of have time to meet with her. And I basically thought I wanted to meet her, but I just didn't have time. I felt like, you know, I'm leaving in 2 days, and I don't think I'm gonna have time to meet her, so I didn't reach out to her. And I went to a neighborhood that was not far from where I was staying to kind of buy some gift for a friend's daughter, you know, basically, because I was leaving and blah, blah, blah. And there was a coffee shop there, which I was passing by next to many times before, and I always felt like, oh, it's a nice looking coffee shop. I should one day take my laptop and go and work there, but I never decided to do so. But this day, I actually had my laptop with me, so I went first time into this coffee shop. And I got my laptop out, started working there, and within first 1 hour, you know, my ex is passing by next to the window, and she's like looking at me, and I'm there with my computer, and she's like, hey, what's up, you know, and then so basically I was thinking we should meet, would be nice just to kind of catch up, but I was just too busy and I thought I won't have time. And coincidence, synchronicity, 2-3 days before I was leaving, we bumped into each other randomly. It turned out that actually she knew the person running the coffee shop. She said, like, she came and said hi. I didn't know that at all. I just had this coffee shop on my mind for a while. So this is another example how synchronicities can unfold in your life. So let me give you another example. So I kind of got back to Krakow, Poland. This is where I grew up in. I've been here for a couple of months now, and I decided let me kind of go and meet some people, and I went to these meetups that were about language exchange. Basically, you go there and you have a kind of conversations with different people from different countries that want to practice foreign language. So I went there like 4 times over a couple of months, right? There are like twice a week or something, 2 different groups, but I decided to go to like one of these groups 3 times and to the other one once. And this has nothing to do with spirituality or anything I'm doing, completely different niche. But basically the way it looks like is like a pub, wherever people kind of have a chat. They can use English if they want to, they can use other language. Most people speak in English. So I just went there, just to have a kind of a chat with people, see what's going on, how life looks like, and maybe meet some new friends. That's it. And 4 times I went there. Every single time I met people who were aligned with what I'm doing. So first time I'm just chatting with one girl. We started having some conversation. Then she's like saying something like higher self. And I'm like, what did you say? Higher self? And I'm like, what is higher self? I'm asking her, It's like, did I just hear the thing that I'm talking about constantly, out of this random place where people should not even know what is higher self? It's like this kind of niche, spiritual, crazy thing that not many people, normal people, talk about. And she's like explaining me. So I started explaining her my views, and she was like really interested. We ended up having a conversation for, 2 hours. And basically, like, she was like really into it, wanted to learn from me about my spiritual kind of ideas and philosophies and things like that. This is first meetup, right? You would think that you go to a normal place where people just have a beer, whatever, and how would anyone know anything about these kind of topics? Second time, same thing. I went there and met some guy, and we started talking about these things, and he was actually experimenting with trying to get his life into synchronicities, into flow. So he kind of wanted to see what life will be like if he's gonna allow it to unfold. And he meets me, who basically is just like talking about that all the time, how you should kind of get into that flow of synchronicity. So I started giving him ideas about connecting with higher self and things like that. And he became interested, and then we became friends and stuff like that. So another time, same thing, like I'm meeting some people, some guy at the end, and we started having a kind of deep conversation, and I started talking about law of one. He was like, what are your kind of views? And I'm just telling him about this, and I was like, yeah, I know law of one. And he's telling me some of the other books that I know about. Think about how many people read these books. Like 1 out of 10,000 people, 1 out of 100,000 people. In Poland, this is Poland, by the way, they don't even sell law of one in Polish. This is an English book, or maybe there are other versions, but how would anyone know anything about it here? And I'm just going to a 3rd meeting or something, 4th meeting, 3rd, I think was 3rd. And again, I'm meeting someone who is completely aligned with what I'm doing. For me, this is just normal because I tend to do it all the time. Doesn't mean it's like perfect or whatever. It's never like that. But once you are doing the work, you know what you're doing, you can have more and more synchronicities in life. You attract the right people in the right time, etc. So one more example of that. This is an example I kind of use quite a lot. I mentioned that an important thing for having synchronicities and help from your guides and your higher self is to do some karmic work, help people, right? So, for example, I was in Costa Rica 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago, not sure, and I needed to find an apartment tomorrow. I basically came there not knowing almost anyone, and I just stayed at this crappy hotel for like 1 week or something, and I had to find a place for another couple of weeks or months, basically, locally. So I asked my higher self to help me with finding a place, and I get out, start working on my laptop, and basically this guy comes by and he's selling necklaces, like a little bit like something, you know, like this kind of necklace, and I didn't need that necklace at all, but I felt like he is starting to tell me the story, how he is making these necklaces on his own, and he is able to fund his traveling through South America because of the work he's doing. So I felt like, this is such a nice story, and I would like to support this guy. And I felt like, you know, I'm just gonna buy a necklace from this guy, not because I need it or because I want it, but because I want to help him and I want to support him. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna need some gift for my sister from Costa Rica, so I'm just gonna buy her a gift and, you know, do a little good deed for both people, right? You know, I had an option here to say, as anyone else, no thank you, I'm not interested, and he would walk away, right? But I decided I'm just gonna help him, and because of that, we started having a conversation, and he explained to me that there is a guy, you know, not far around, that there is a guy who actually has a couple of different flats or apartments that he's renting out. So I found out about him through this guy, and that's where I lived for the next couple of weeks or couple of months. I asked my higher self for help. Okay, I'm sending you this dude, but now you need to do something as well. You not get things for free always, you know? Show that you are also want to give, want to do something for someone else, and then you have synchronicities happening to you. So this is an example again. And if you know what you're doing, you can have more and more and more synchronicities in your life. So if you are really interested in that and you want me to work with you on one-to-one basis, where we can kind of analyze some of your behaviors, some of your things, patterns, and maybe activate the flow of synchronicities for you, you can reach out, go to truththeory.com/coaching and just get in touch, or through Truth Theory contact form, and maybe we can work on one-to-one basis as well. I can kind of assist you with opening more synchronicities for you. So thank you for checking this episode of True Spirituality. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you have synchronicities happening to you, some interesting ones, please share them below. Let us know, and till next time.